Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to yet another edition of the DCEU Daily. I'm always here to give you your daily dose of DC chat, talk and news. And it wasn't enough for Zack Snyder to post that awesome, epic trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut focusing on Superman. He gave us this. Look at this. This is amazing. What I love about this flying GIF, and I actually screenshot it, is the detail in the black costume. Just look at it. I know you can't get a brilliant look here, but I'm sure you've all got it placed in your kind of screen grabs in your devices as well. But it is sensational. The detail is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Zack Snyder, and yet again, congratulations for your award from the Critics Association, I think they're called, for your work. And, you know, you bringing recognition and representation for suicide prevention, very well deserved. But this, my friends, is off the freaking scale. Wow. So the question we're asking today is, can we restore the Snyderverse? Of course we can, but there are no absolutes in life. And so what can we do next to ensure we can restore the Snyderverse? Look, the environment we're in right now is a good one because it's looking like Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be the most successful streaming event of all time. That's a good thing. But can we rely on that alone to get the Snyder Cut restored? In any normal environment, in any normal business, I would say yes, but there's so many variables here. If it was me and I had a lot of backing behind me, I would organise a Restore the Snyder Cut hashtag event on Twitter on the 17th of March, a day before the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. That would really get the trends up because it gains momentum, because the next day when this flipping thing releases, the trends are going to be automatically up. The chatter about the film is going to be there. It's going to be freaking off the scale. And so that's what I would do personally. I would do an event, a Restore the Snyderverse event on the 17th of March. And afterwards, what we've got to do is allow this film to do its thing. Because the conversation about this film is going to go on and on and on. The broadsheets, the media, the sites are going to be doing lots of not hit pieces, but lots of articles about different storylines and things and, you know, narratives from Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. And we're going to keep on talking about it and hashtagging. So the film's going to do its job. So I would say maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe a month after the release of the film, then we kind of tactically kind of organise some Restore the Snyder Cut events. Not necessarily all hashtag events, but different things we can do. Because this is just the beginning of the fight. We might have to we may have to fight for another 3 or 4 years to get this thing done. But I am in a very, very confident mood. I believe that this is so possible, so probable. But as I've already said, there's no absolutes in life. We have to be united. It doesn't matter what you think of other people. You don't have to be friends and like other members of this fandom and this movement, but we all have to think together. If people want to do their own events, if people want to feel they're in charge of something, let them do it. It's all for, you know, for the Snyderverse, for Zack to keep on doing this. We have to put our egos to one side and do this for what we want. More Snyderverse movies. As I say, I'm feeling utterly confident every day to get these character trailers. It's absolutely fantastic. And I should do a reaction for the Wonder Woman one as soon as that trailer hits. I will definitely do one. I can't give you a time because we all come from different time zones, don't we? It's all very timey-wimey. But I will react to it. I can't wait for the Wonder Woman one. It's going to be interesting how he goes about the Wonder Woman one, by the way. Because we've got Batman. We've got Superman in the Batman one, lifting him kind of thematically out of the darkness. We've got Superman hearing all these inspirational voices, which is awesome. And by the way, I want to talk about something that Chris Wong Svensson actually talked about on his reaction. You can always rely on Chris to kind of spot something. So if we close up on this, as Superman is walking through the ship, all those suits come out, don't they, on their stands. Now, Chris reckons that this could be Supergirl's costume, and I fundamentally agree with this. Now, this is what I love about Snyder and his design team. This is such a great costume. Of course, it's not the usual red and blue Supergirl costume. This one's got armor. This is awesome. So Chris believes, and I agree with him, that this is actually Supergirl's costume. Now, I've spoken about Supergirl ever since stuff was leaking out about Zack's version of the film, because I've always believed that she has some kind of cameo or small role to play in this film. Of course, I can be wrong. I do get things wrong sometimes. And again, as a YouTuber, you have to, you know, eat your chicken, don't you? You have to say, you know what, I was wrong about this. This is not information that's been given to me. I just feel that with the Man of Steel prequel comics, with the hint, with the empty kind of pod and all of that, it would be, in a way, remiss not to do something about Supergirl. It's not, I wouldn't be disappointed or anything like that. I'm just saying it will make sense for some kind of reference or cameo of Supergirl, or maybe we'll just see her wherever she is. And she's got a really, Zack gave her a great backstory. She was part of the exploration team thousands of years prior, coming to Earth. That's what the prequel comic did. It was it was an interesting backstory. And if he was allowed to continue his thing originally, we would have seen his Supergirl, I assume, maybe in Justice League 2 or Justice League 3. He may have been able to add something in additional photography. I don't know, or maybe he already did. Now, if you listen to Zack, she's not in the film. And so, I mean, Zack doesn't really lie about these things, because he could be being cheeky here. I mean, it's interesting. I didn't notice this, but trust Chris to notice it. And it's a great spot, and it's a great costume. So it's brilliant. So everyone in the movement's energy levels are so high. And I'm loving it over on Twitter. I'm loving the reactions to these character trailers as well. And as I say, you know, because everyone keeps on sending me messages. Do you really believe, Mick, that we can restore the Snyderverse? I mean, I'm not some kind of authority. All I can tell you from my knowledge of the industry, as you know, I work in the industry here in Cyprus, so I'm not connected or affiliated with Hollywood or Warner Brothers or any other studio, but I did spend 6 months in Hollywood. I kind of know how these people think. So obviously, is there money in restoring the Snyderverse? Of course there is. One of those things that we hear when I'm reading these Screen Rant articles, it would be too expensive to restore the Snyderverse, blah, blah, blah. It's no more expensive than doing anything else. It's no more expensive than doing a Matrix movie. Or, you know, I mean, Jason Keeler has been talking about restoring the Harry Potter universe. So that's going to be an expensive business as well, especially if they have to buy kind of J.K. Rowling out of any say in those movies because of what she's been saying about LGBTQ people, or most certainly about transgender people, so transgender issues. And I don't know enough about things like that to harness an opinion. I certainly wouldn't cancel anyone for speaking their truth. It's their truth, not yours. It's not my truth. It's not yours. It's hers. Let her say it. Have a constructive reaction to that opinion, but let's stop keep cancelling people. She's not a bad person, an evil person. But if you think, as I say, I've read what she said before, but I don't really understand it. That's the thing with me. And when I don't understand something, I don't gauge an opinion on it because I think that's wrong. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to offend anyone from the LGBTQ plus community. And I certainly don't want to go against a lady who, from nothing, from being a single mother, created this Harry Potter empire. So I'm keeping out of it. So I don't even know why I'm talking about it. And so, you know, if they're restoring the Harry Potter universe, obviously that's a viable universe, but DC is their main focus. Look, it's a difficult situation for Keelar and Sarnoff and even Walter Hamada, if you think about it, because what do you do? Do you just say fuck all the other plans and bring Zack back? Of course you can't. And this is where this multiverse strategy, as I've kind of belabelled before, is perfect to restore the Snyderverse. Snyder can do his thing in his Elseworld. He's calling it an Elseworld now. It's perfect. Why is he calling it an Elseworld? He's been told to call it an Elseworld. You know, this is why I didn't lose it so much when they were saying shit like, you know, the Snyderverse is a cul-de-sac to nowhere, because it doesn't mean they meant it's not happening or not interested in it. But now I'm going to read you something that's so cheap and so lazy from Screen Rant. And it's about this thing again that Warner Brothers have no intention of restoring the Snyderverse. So let's give it a read. I want to read you this article because this is not actually directly saying about the Snyderverse being restored, but it's about something else. It's a very lazy article about Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut not being released in movie theatres. So this is the article. Justice League reportedly no plans for Snyder Cut theatrical release. Now, we know that Zack ultimately at some point wants to do this, but right now a lot of movie theatres in the States are shut. So why would they have any plans? That's why I'm calling this a lazy article. Sources at Warner Brothers say there's no plans to release the Justice League Snyder Cut on the big screen following its debut on HBO Max by Rebecca Van Acker. There are currently no plans to release the Justice League Snyder Cut to theatres. The upcoming movie, now officially called Zack Snyder's Justice League, will finally reveal the director's vision. Snyder's Cut is a long time coming, with a small but vocal group calling its release since Joss Whedon's retooled theatrical version came out in 2017. I really don't know why they do the recap every time. It really is annoying. The announcement Zack Snyder's Justice League would release on HBO Max, the new film, is expected to be significantly different from the original version. It will feature expanded storylines for some characters left on the cutting room floor and include Jared Leto's Joker, who wasn't in the 2017 Justice League. Even before there was a release plan for the Snyder Cut, the director teased aspects of his movie, including his overall look. Many of the images shared by Snyder are in black and white. He's also confirmed there's a full black and white IMAX version of the film called Justice League Justice is Grey, referring to it as the ultimate version. Snyder has said that take on the movie will release on HBO Max at some point and after the in colour one. With this in mind, some have held out hope either the black and white or colour version of the Justice League Snyder Cut will make its way to theatres once they are all reopened. No, we have been holding hope, but also Snyder is holding out hope for doing it. And he's got quite a bit of pull, isn't he? He's a big director, right? So you would think he'd be able to do it eventually. Anyway, let's carry on. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like that's in the cards, at least as of now, per the Wrap. Oh, the Wrap. Surprise, surprise. Warner Brothers sources say there are no plans for a theatrical release of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is still considered an HBO Max exclusive. While this may be disappointing to hear, it's worth noting there are simply no plans for a theatrical release at this time. Then, my friends, why do an article about it? What's the point? We know there's no plans at this fucking second. That doesn't mean Warner Brothers' stance on the matter won't change in the future. After all, for a long time, seeing the Justice League Snyder Cut in any form seemed incredibly unlikely. But Warner Media clearly changed its tune eventually. If the new version of Justice League is well received and brings in a lot of subscribers for HBO Max, which it already has, it stands to reason Warner Brothers could change its mind and decide on a theatrical release after all. It helps Snyder is clearly planning for that, even if it's not in the cards as of now. If WB ever were to reverse its stance, the director already has an IMAX version ready to go. The fact audiences know it exists could make a difference as well. A similar thing helped propel Zack Snyder's Justice League to its HBO Max debut. As the director made it clear he's nearly completed, cut existed, more and more people began campaigning for its release. In the meantime, at least audiences will be able to see the Justice League Snyder Cut on the small screen March the 18th. Now, this is not actually Screen Rant's fault. I did do a bit of a kind of sour quote tweet to them. I might have to take that down because it wasn't originally from them. But of course, what would Access Media be with all this good trending, all this kind of great excitement and kind of, you know, this epic feeling from us, the fans? They have to kind of try and bring us down to earth. Maybe they can bring the trends down. Impossible. It's not going to work. No. There are no plans to release Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut in movie theatres in the US at this second, at this moment in time, because what's releasing in cinemas anyway? So at the end of the day, most of them are shut. I believe we will be able to see Zack Snyder's Justice League in movie theatres when they reopen properly. Now, I'm looking at COVID-19 being completely not being an issue by maybe the end of summer, September, October, fall or autumn, as us Brits call it. So I would say that there's a big chance of maybe both the black and white one and the colour one. I don't know, or one of the two. But Zack does want to release the film in IMAX, in movie theatres, and I believe it's going to happen. This is the event of the year, my friends. Nothing, and I mean nothing. No MCU project, nothing is going to take away the hype from Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it will get a theatrical release at some point. This is already making them money. Imagine the money it's going to make when it starts streaming, so they know releasing Zack Snyder's Justice League in movie theatres is good business. Cooper Hood of Screen Rant talks about yesterday's Superman-focused trailer of Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. Justice League trailer reveals multiple Superman suits in the Fortress of Solitude. Now, we've already spoken about the Supergirl one, or maybe the Supergirl one. Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer shows Henry Cavill's Superman looking at multiple suits on his Kryptonian ship before getting the black suit. A new Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer teases the creation of Superman's black suit. When Zack Snyder walked away from Justice League in 2017, the studio drastically changed his vision. Fans campaigned for years to see his true version of the movie, and HBO Max answered the call in 2020. The filmmaker is in the final stages of restoring the Snyder Cut ahead of Zack Snyder's Justice League debuting on Warner Media's new streaming service. This new cut will give the main characters completely different arcs and in some cases new costumes too. Snyder's original plan for Justice League put Henry Cavill's Superman in the black suit from the comics, but Warner Brothers wasn't a fan of this idea. Now that he's completing his version of the movie, Superman's black costume is returning as he intended. The director teased the debut of the costume in the past, and it has been featured prominently in the film's marketing. Superman has been shown wearing the suit while meeting Alfred and working with the Justice League. Now that latest Justice League trailer teases how it is created. Following the release of a Batman-focused trailer, Snyder debuted a new Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer for Superman. The footage largely focuses on Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, inside the Fortress of Solitude after being resurrected by the League. He passes several different possible suits he could wear before debuting the new black Superman suit. This isn't the first time footage shot by Snyder of Superman in the Fortress of Solitude in Justice League has been revealed. A deleted scene included on the Justice League Blu-ray showed a similar scene, although there are noticeable differences to what is included here. The deleted scene only gave Clark two options, and this is interesting. They actually deleted the other options. Now, why would you do that? Was it because we knew the footage was there and they wanted to show us something to shut us up, but they didn't want to show us everything? How pathetic. But this new trailer includes 4 suits, and none of them is the black suit he eventually chooses. It's unclear if the additional suits were always part of Snyder's plan, or if he added them during the latest round of post-production. In any case, this Superman-centric trailer for Superman's Justice League does a great job of showing how his arc will be different. The voices of Darkseid, Alfred, Wonder Woman and many others can be heard throughout the trailer's beginning. Meanwhile, it closes with Superman signalling his need to understand why Batman and the Justice League went through all this trouble to bring him back to life. He knows it must be important, leading him to reunite with the team to fight Steppenwolf and the Parademon army. Clark will do most of this while he's in the black Superman suit. But now fans will be left to wonder if he'll put on any other suit in Zack Snyder's Justice League, or if those are teasers of what else could have come. This is interesting, isn't it? Because in Justice League, he takes the suit off at the end. He's got the red suit off, and while Lois is doing that narration, and he flies off. Now, I think that's actually Zack Snyder's shot. So, I don't know. I mean, hasn't Zack said before, someone correct me if I'm wrong, that he doesn't actually wear the red and blue suit in the first movie? Maybe he's changed that. I don't know. I don't think he has. And so it is very plausible that Superman doesn't wear the red and blue suit at all in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And the idea was for him to finally wear it maybe in the third movie. Although he probably would wear it in the second movie, because the second movie is focused in the nightmare future, where we already know he wears the red and blue. And so maybe in the third film, he embraces wearing that properly in the present day when Darkseid has been defeated. So it is a very interesting point, but I think I keep on going back to that trailer just to see the different suits and what's what. It is interesting, and also there's another red and blue one there, because don't forget, I don't know what happened to the original red and blue after he was killed. So that's interesting, and maybe we'll find that out in the movie as well. But I would assume that he doesn't actually wear the traditional red and blue in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we've got Arrowverse news and articles to focus on now. Of course, the Snyderverse is always our priority here on Big Mouth, but we've dealt with everything of that. And don't forget, I'll be back later to react to the Wonder Woman Justice League trailer. I can't wait for that. So, Supergirl Season 6 sets March premiere date. Will air during Superman and Lois hiatus. I'm pissed off that they've actually got a hiatus. Let's read this. Supergirl Season 6, which will also be the Arrowverse show's last, finally has a premiere date in March, where it will take Superman and Lois's place, by Rebecca Van Acker. Supergirl Season 6 will premiere in March, taking over the spot currently held by Superman and Lois. Supergirl's upcoming episodes have been a long time coming after the coronavirus cut Season 5 short in 2020. Season 5, yeah. Like the other Arrowverse shows, Supergirl has been in production on its new episodes for several months. Season 6 will be the show's last and consists of 20 episodes. So, are we actually going to have to sit through 20 fucking episodes of Supergirl before we can conclude Superman and Lois Season 1? This is outrageous. Very little is known about Supergirl's final season at this time, but it should serve as a satisfying farewell for Kara, Alex, Lena, and other characters. When they say satisfying, they want a happy, clappy ending with no interesting threads or stories. After Supergirl finishes its run, Krypton will live on in Superman and Lois, the Arrowverse's newest series, focusing on Kara's cousin Clark and esteemed journalist Lois Lane. The show has already become a solid performer for the CW. It was renewed for Season 2 only a week after its series premiere. In a show of confidence from the network, however, Superman and Lois will soon go on a brief hiatus, allowing Supergirl to return for its final episodes. I don't understand. So, are they kind of continuing the season they didn't finish, then stop? And I'm actually so confused here. The CW made the announcement on Supergirl's Twitter page, revealing Season 6 premieres Tuesday, March the 30th. Per TV line, Supergirl will end at 9 p.m. following The Flash. This means it's occupying Superman and Lois' current spot on the schedule. That show will go on hiatus until May the 18th. May the fucking 18th. So, March the 30th. Yeah, so they'll be done with the 20 episodes, I assume. I'm disappointed. The only way I can... If they haven't finished filming and shooting and producing the season, I understand. But it's my understanding that Superman and Lois doesn't have many episodes, certainly not as many as 20. So that's interesting. May 18th, to accommodate an earlier coronavirus-fueled production pause. At that point, Supergirl will go off the air again, but be back to finish its final run in the summer. You see, it's so disjointed, I assume they haven't finished shooting that either. But it is really disjointed, but it kind of... You got Supergirl, Superman and Lois. It's obviously because they haven't finished shooting either show. It's kind of okay. Listen, I'm only watching Superman and Lois. I'm not watching the other shows as we speak. So I don't know if I'm even interested in watching the final season or these final episodes of Supergirl, to be honest. Considering Supergirl's Season 5 finale aired in May 2020, it's exciting to finally have a return date. Viewers have been waiting a while. With the CW gradually making premiere date announcements over the last few months, it's actually a little surprising the premiere date is so soon. The network only recently announced Legends of Tomorrow will be back in May. So it seemed likely Supergirl's premiere date would be later since it wasn't revealed at that time. Instead, audiences will be able to see the start of Supergirl's farewell run in only a few weeks. It's likely the Superman and Lois production issue played a role until recently. The CW may not have realised the hiatus was necessary. It makes sense to put Supergirl in that time slot instead of bringing Legends of Tomorrow back earlier. Superman and Lois is essentially a Supergirl spin-off series, so it will be an easy transition for viewers. It will also increase excitement for the show's conclusion sooner rather than later. Hopefully, Supergirl's final season is worth the wait. You're wrong. You're wrong, right? You're calling it a Supergirl spin-off show? What, because Tyler Hoechlin originally played the part in Supergirl? But you really think that many people watching Superman and Lois are going to stick around for Supergirl? They won't. This is Superman fandom. And, you know, we gave Supergirl a chance. It had the opportunity to be a great show, and it decided to be something else. I'm sorry, that's just the way it goes. I love Supergirl. Mel Benoist plays the character well, but unfortunately, the show is simply not written well. So I'm not excited about this, but if they haven't finished Superman and Lois, haven't finished the production, there's nothing they can do about it, or we can do about it. Superman and Lois theory. The new Lex Luthor is from the Injustice universe. Now, wouldn't that be awesome? The new Lex Luthor on Superman and Lois officially comes from an Earth that has an evil Man of Steel, and it might be the Injustice universe by Andy, whose surname I can't pronounce. This is a very, very dangerous conclusion to come to. We don't even know if that Superman was under Captain Luthor's control. He could be on Red K. He can literally be on red kryptonite. He could have been poisoned by red kryptonite by Captain Luthor, and that's why he's stitching him up. It sounds to me that Captain Luthor is going around every reality and turning everyone against Superman by maybe doing the same thing, manipulating Superman to do the wrong thing, destroying his life. I think that's what's really happening. I do not think that Superman is actually evil, and I think Captain Luthor is manipulating this whole thing. And by the way, it will be just like Lex Luthor, wouldn't it, to do that? Now, we don't know if this is Lex Luthor or another Luthor, but anyway, I don't think that Superman is really evil. He's been manipulated. He's been dosed with red K. I don't know. It's one of the two. But let's see what Andy's got to say. The new Lex Luthor on Superman and Lois comes from a world that has an evil Man of Steel. You see, again, you're making it... You don't know that. Who could well be from the Arrowverse's version of the Injustice universe. While John Cryer has been portraying Clark Kent's ultimate nemesis on Supergirl, the latest Arrowverse spin-off has introduced another Lex. Wal Parks was initially cast as the mysterious character, the Stranger, but this was obviously a cover name for his real identity. If he even is Captain Luthor, he could be lying about that. We don't know. Anyway, but this was obviously a cover name for his real identity, as when actors land roles with ambiguous titles in a comic book property, it's almost always someone who is already in the comics. Superman and Lois is no exception, as the series premiere concluded with the reveal that Parks is actually playing a new version of Lex. The latest episode revealed a lot more about the Arrowverse's second Lex, as he's still pursuing his goal of proving Superman's evil nature. Is he trying to prove it, or is he trying to put that narrative out there? I read something before I watched an episode of this show saying he's going around, you know, the multiverse, trying to make sure nobody believes in Superman. So I think that's actually the case. Anyway, the ending of the latest Superman and Lois episode did, however, reveal a lot more about why Lex has hatred towards Krypton's last son. In a brief but informative flashback, Lex is seen fighting with an army alongside General Sam that are all killed by a suit-wearing Superman. It's the same suit Tyler Hoechlin wore in the Elseworlds crossover in 2018 when John Deegan used the Book of Destiny to rewrite reality and make him Earth 1 Superman. The flashback, while short, did give a lot of insight into why Lex is determined to expose Clark as being naturally evil. If this is the case, it doesn't make sense. He knows full well that this Superman is not evil, but maybe that Superman wasn't evil at first. Let's just say he's a good guy and this actually did happen. So maybe he's worried about the same thing happening. But I don't believe this is the case. I think this is a manipulation by Captain Luthor. Based on Lex's past dialogue thus far, it seems that Superman somehow destroyed the Earth he came from, if that's even true. This confirms that Superman and Lois Season 1 deals with a multiverse story of some kind in a post-crisis on Infinite Earths. Normally, whenever Superman is wearing a black costume, it's more related to the death of Superman or Superman. Lois and Clark comics in the instance, however, the Arrowverse is dealing with a Superman that is killing people, including soldiers. With this violence in mind, there's a chance this Superman could be the one from the Injustice universe, utilising the popularity the comics and the games developed around this particular part of the DC multiverse. I don't think that's the case. As epic and as awesome as it would be, I don't think they're doing that. Anyway, the Injustice franchise takes place on an alternative Earth where the world was forever changed the day Superman lost the love of his life, Lois Lane. So basically, it's pretty much similar to what Snyder's done with the Nightmare Future. Let's be honest. After the Joker manipulates Superman in getting Lois' unborn child and 5 million people killed, Clark breaks his biggest rule and murders the Clown Prince of Crime. This choice changes Superman as he goes on to kill more criminals within 5 years. Before becoming the Earth's dictator, Superman has formed the One Earth regime that consists of not just heroes, but also villains who believe in his cause. But not everyone agrees with Superman's new world, as Batman forms the insurgency to go up against the regime. Justice League characters from another universe are teleported to Earth in Justice as they become part of helping stop the corrupted Superman. The first game ends with Clark's defeat as he gets locked up in a cell that has red sunlight, making him almost powerless. With a little hint that he still has some of his abilities, Injustice 2 focuses on the insurgents trying to restore the world after Superman's tyranny, with Brainiac and the Society as the villains of the story. Because of Brainiac's plan to collect Earth, Batman is forced to rely on Superman. While Injustice 2 has 2 alternative endings, there's one that sees Clark sent to the Phantom Zone after losing his powers for good, through gold kryptonite, concluding his story. Based on the flashback that has been shown so far, something must have gone horribly wrong for Clark to murder soldiers. The way Superman and Lois has portrayed him thus far is through Lex's point of view, that he was responsible for getting their world destroyed. It's unclear if this was a pre- or post-crisis on Infinite Earths. Given that Lex explicitly calls this version Superman, it's definitely an iteration of Clark that somehow is dominating the world. The scene of him killing soldiers could be from Superman's point of view, an arc to stop wars or show or power against an army trying to oppose him. More flashbacks will certainly come throughout the season, but currently there are already parallels to be made with the Injustice Superman. Lois has always been integral to Superman's character, as she grounds him and reminds him of his inner humanity. It's not entirely impossible that on Lex's Earth, the reason Clark has turned dark is that he, similar to Injustice, lost Lois too. The only reason Superman would kill Lois's father, is if she isn't alive anymore, and he somehow opposed Clark. With the potential of Superman and Lois setting up the Injustice-like universe in the Arrowverse multiverse, this is interesting though. I would kind of agree with this in a way, because as it's a Superman and Lois show, it would be interesting to talk about and have a conversation what would happen if Lois wasn't there. So he could have a point, but I still think this is a manipulation, but I could be wrong. It opens the door for that character too. While there is no way a big crossover is happening this year, with the global pandemic still at large, that doesn't mean they couldn't still begin to set one up. One of the benefits of Oliver Queen rebooting the multiverse is that the creators of all the shows can explore new stories whenever they want. It doesn't even have to be in a massive crossover in order for it to happen. For example, it would be fascinating to see various Arrowverse cast members play new versions of themselves, which we've kind of seen already anyway. It's not a new thing. The idea of seeing a divided version of Arrow versus Justice League would also bring a new layer to the franchise, agreed. While Lex believes his world is gone, that doesn't have to be the case. Thanks to Crisis, the most possible scenario is that this Lex lost his world in pre-Crisis timeline before coming to Earth Prime. But since Oliver restored the multiverse and also altered it, Lex's Earth could actually still exist. That's a good point, with the evil Superman still at large. Depending on what relationship Superman and Lex had perhaps the Arrowverse could get a visit from some Injustice characters in search of Luthor. Another fitting DC concept that the Arrowverse could be alluding to is the crime syndicate of America, who come from Earth 3. While Arrowverse's Earth 3 was originally Jay Garrick's world, Stargirl Season 2 is changing that thanks to Crisis on Infinite Earths, as he'll now be from Earth 2. In the comics, Earth 3 follows a reality where DC's heroes are evil and the villains are good. In that reality, Superman operates as Ultraman and is one of the most dangerous members of the crime syndicate, despite the fact that the flashback saw Hoecling in the black Superman suit. That doesn't mean that he didn't perhaps become Ultraman later, or that Crisis didn't potentially rewrite the Earth's continuity. A perfect twist would be that Lex's Clark comes to Earth Prime and reveals that he's now Ultraman instead of Superman, and then Superman would have to fight him. That would be interesting, and Captain Luthor would join sides with Superman from the Superman and Lois universe. That would be pretty cool. Crime Syndicate is a concept that would, in a post-Crisis Arrowverse, be doable since Earth 3 isn't Jay Garrick's universe anymore. The tricky thing at this point is that it's unknown if Lex came to Earth Prime during Crisis or sometime after the 5-part crossover. It's not out of the question that despite not knowing how he got there, this Lex came along after Oliver rebooted the multiverse. Superman destroying their world doesn't need to have taken place before or during the last Arrowverse crossover. If Lex does indeed come from Earth 3, Superman and Lois could do a slow build-up towards the crime syndicate by first focusing on Ultraman. With a scenario like that, the show could also even introduce heroic versions of some iconic villains that fans have seen in the past. Whether it's the Injustice universe or Earth 3 that this evil Superman comes from, Superman and Lois has double the potential to explore some big concepts for the Arrowverse as it progresses forward. This is what I like. When you write a show properly and an iconic character like Superman and Lois Lane properly, people like Andy, their imaginations open up and they come up with these brilliant theories. And it's a well thought out theory, but we shouldn't come to any conclusions right now because we really don't know if this is a Luthor manipulation or if Captain Luthor is being honest about what he said to General Sam Lane. Very, very interesting. But what's true here is that this show has a lot of potential, and Andy can see it via the article. So I don't know what. I think there's lots of viable kind of realities here. I don't know what's going on, if Luthor is a good guy or a bad guy, or what's going to happen to our Superman. Does he eventually turn bad? Is this Superman from Earth Prime, or is this Earth we're focusing on in this show not actually the same kind of Earth that our Superman, the Earth Prime Superman, comes from? We're assuming the show we're watching is on Earth Prime, but actually it might not be. Now, Screen Rant again have got another Superman and Lois theory, and this time it's about something called Project 7734. In the comics, Project 7734 was the brainchild of Sam Lane. Do you remember? Now, actually, I might actually mention this. This is a bit of a rant, a mini rant. What they're doing on the CW, on their app, they're giving you an extra scene of Superman and Lois that the rest of us in other countries can't see. And so there's this big conversation, and one of the lines that General Sam Lane says is, there's a lot of things that I know that you don't, for your own protection, or something like that. So it's very interesting. So this is a really good theory from Screen Rant, by the way, but absolutely ridiculous that they're giving American audiences an extra scene and us abroad can't see it. Ridiculous. Anyway, in the comics, Project 7734 was the brainchild of Sam Lane, designed to safeguard the Earth against extraterrestrial threats. 7734 frequently targeted Superman and other Kryptonians. Over time, the group merged with the Human Defense Corps, more specifically Squad K, in pursuit of the Kryptonian extermination. Lane actually did align with Lex Luthor. Furthermore, he utilized many monstrous and superpowered agents. These included Doomsday, a murderous Superwoman, and Metallo. Given that Superman and Lois, Captain Luthor, 7734 tags and used the Corpse mantra to hell and back, it would appear that the group have already been merged on his original Earth. And though the Arrowverse's Lane seemed committed to protecting Superman, that could still potentially change, especially with Clark dividing himself and the more unstable Jordan now having superpowers, albeit weaker ones. Another agent associated with Project 7734 was Benjamin K. Crewellen, aka Reactron. Though created separate from the project, he was subsequently recruited, zealous. He waged war on Kryptonians in Metropolis and their home cities. He even killed some prominent figures, including Supergirl's father Zor-El. No matter what transpires with Lane, the mere fact that Captain Luthor is trying to forge alliances could pave the way for Crewellen's appearance. More tellingly is the fact that Luthor's method of war has been through building armoured suits. Crewellen's abilities came from such equipment known as the Star Suit. Furthermore, Luthor has had a vested interest in nuclear facilities that was mostly to test Superman. However, those very tests could lead to imbibing a suit with the exact nuclear and radiation-based powers that Crewellen exhibited as Reactron. A version of Reactron appeared previously in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 3, Fight or Flight. Yeah, I remember that one, played by Chris Browning. He had a long-standing grudge against Superman. This Reactron was ultimately defeated by Kara. Since Crisis on Infinite Earths, however, the Arrowverse has been established upon an entirely new timeline. As such, the shared continuity has the freedom to craft new origin stories, even for previously established villains. Equally, characters could be recast with no questions asked. After all, in Superman and Lois alone, Walt Parks is able to play a new Lex without disrupting John Crye's version, and Sam Lane was switched from being played by Glenn Morshow to Dylan Walsh. As such, Reactron could just as easily emerge with a new face and give Superman and Lois even more of a rogues gallery to deal with across the remaining episodes. Very, very interesting. That's another good theory about Captain Luthor. Look, the guy running this show did a great job of the first 2 seasons of Flash. So if he could do that, he could do something special here. I'm very, very excited about this show. And just all these theories just shows what a great job they've already done in a mere 2 episodes. Well, that's it for today. The hype for Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut is so huge. Every day, new posters, new trailers, new hype. All we have to hear is the name Zack Snyder's Justice League or Snyder Cut, and we are hyped and it's trending. This is massive. So you have been asking me, can we restore the Snyderverse? Yes, damn it, we can restore the Snyderverse. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back later with my reaction to the Wonder Woman promo of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I shall see you later. Bye-bye.